Hey, welcome back to Talk of the Town. I'm Jim Vaughn, and we're sitting here with Terry Losego, airport manager. Our airport here locally has been through some trials and tribulations over the years, but thanks to Terry and some local folks, the future looks pretty good for the airport, doesn't it, Terry?
It really does, Jim, and
Yeah.
I want to thank you for having me up here today, too.
Thanks for coming up, man. We appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, but you're now the manager of the airport.
I'm once again the manager of the airport, and very pleased to say that after going through the COVID, like other businesses, we've had some struggles.
Mm-hmm.
We're coming out of those now, and with the help of the city of Cambridge and Guernsey County,
Mm-hmm.
we are now up to the funding level we was before the COVID hit, and I mean that is a blessing in
excellent.
itself. That's something
Absolutely.
that was very much needed.
Sure. And we need an airport. What is the function of the airport in this community?
The airport serves a lot of purposes. First of all, and probably more important, is the business environment within the community. We now have almost as many corporate aircraft coming and going on a regular basis as we do general aviation aircraft, the type of aircraft where the individual has his own small airplane at the airport, goes down and flies in the evening or on a weekend. So we're really pleased with that, and we get so many good comments from the corporates. The new power plant, their people's using it all the time, and so it's part of the infrastructure required of a community.
Yeah, yeah. And funding is back, like you said. It's there for you this year. You do a lot of things down there. I was visiting yesterday, and a helicopter called you on a telephone, going to come and fuel up. Now, a lot of the local public don't realize the functions that are happening down there. I'm impressed with stuff like that. You know, and I drove by later, and there he sat. So that's what you get a lot of down there. A lot of people stopping by to fuel up on their way to somewhere else, or law enforcement. I think I see them down there a lot.
You do. People don't realize, but helicopters is probably the biggest fuel user we have there. We have an enormous amount of helicopters using the airport, and actually 2 helicopters, one called in right after the one called in that you're
is that right?
Mentioning. And they both wanted to stay in the hangar all night. We've got a heated hangar for them when it's necessary.
Okay.
And they both needed courtesy cars. We had 2 courtesy cars available to them, and they was actually patrolling pipelines, so that's something that that's a service that we can give to those people that also helps them in their business, but it also brings money into Cambridge and Guernsey County. They stayed at a motel, ate at one of our restaurants.
Sure.
And good to have that kind of people. We've got numerous factories that they're CEOs and even some of the workforce use the airport regularly for coming and going to their businesses.
Got some improvements going on down there. I was down and noticed some paving that's going to maybe take place.
Yep, we got a big hole in the middle of the
I didn't want to say that,
the
but
aircraft parking area. It's actually filled in with dirt and limestone, but it's time for it to be repaired. And not only are we going to repair that, we're going to totally overlay that whole aircraft parking area and some of the taxiways that goes along with that. It's actually a $1.8 million project.
Wow.
And we're working with the city and the county to come up with the match money required to do that, and I'm very, very confident that's going to happen.
And you say you've had some local folks actually give some donations to the airport to help you out.
We have. There's many businesses in the area and individuals in the past 3 years that have donated their funds to help us. One example is we put a completely new fuel system in for general aviation avgas, and it was done totally by the sponsors donated money from the community.
That's great. That's great. You got a lot of good support out here in this community, and we need that airport. We've got to have it.
Absolutely.
Terry, how long have you been down there? I know you had a flight academy school years ago.
I'd have to
I
get, I
flew
don't
with
know
you.
if I got enough fingers here that I can count it up, but I started working there in 1994 part-time.
Okay.
Began full-time in 1997. I left for a couple of years in 2016 and I did some work at the Common Pleas Court. Went back, and I've been there 6 years since I went back. So So I'm somewhere around 25, 26 years, somewhere in that vicinity. I'm not sure.
Well, I just wanted to ask you that because the general public maybe heard of Terry Losego but never saw him and didn't know why the heck he's affiliated with the airport. You are a pilot.
I am a pilot. I've got all the ratings there is as far as being a pilot, and also was an FAA examiner. I was flying when I was 16 years old, Jim. I soloed when I was 16 years old, and loved airplanes, and I end up, one of the dreams that I had was being a commercial pilot. I've done that for several years. I had a flight school. And now I'm running airports, so don't get any better.
You flew for a local businessman. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
that's right.
I did.
Yeah,
I flew corporate for the local businessman.
Yeah,
and,
that's right. I remember that now.
Had a good time with it.
Well, you know your stuff, and we appreciate you being there.
Thank
you for helping us out, because we can't do without an airport, and
That's
without
for sure.
Terry Losego, I got a feeling we wouldn't have one right now. That's my opinion.
And we've got one of the nicest airports, general aviation airports in the state of Ohio.
Excellent. Thank you. Thanks for coming up. Terry Losego, Cambridge Municipal Airport manager. And thanks for tuning in to Talk of the Town. And be sure and tune in again soon. I'm Jim Vaughn with Talk of the Town, and we want to thank Cambridge Main Street for being one of our sponsors. And if you'd like to be one of our sponsors, you need to get online to info@yourradioplace.com or call them up there on the hill at 740-432-5605.